about the very latest developments over the years in maritime satellite communications, and also asking difficult questions. He's very good at that. But over to you, Adonis.
Ευχαριστώ, Chris. Kalimera, ladies and gentlemen. Some months ago, we have decided with the organizers for which presentation to make today, on which topic. And we came up with the idea of going for exploring the current and future trends in the maritime communications industry, as I believe this is the time that every one of us will need to make a decision. Last night, I had a bad dream that Frank Holz was messing up with my slides. So the first thing I did today in the morning was come here and check whether everything was okay. So who we are? We are Becha Schulte Ship Management. We are managing around 700 ships, and 320 are full management vessels. Out of those, 82 are belonging to the shareholders, Becha Schulte, and another 353 vessels, crew management vessels, and 40 vessels of the full management vessels have visa terminals, and this is relevant to the presentation I have to make later. Over 17,000 employees on board and ashore, 8 ship management service centers, 1 crew management center, and 25 recruiting agencies over 25 countries around the globe. Since I'm also wearing the ICT chairman, the chairman of the ICT committee, let me also tell you a few things about the Cyprus Shipping Chamber. This year we are celebrating 25 years. We have 155 member companies. Out of those, some are ship owning and ship management and chartering, and the rest are shipping related organizations. In total, we run 2,200 ships with 49 million gross tons, and we belong among the greatest and the largest shipping associations globally. I have done a survey before I left Cyprus, and I came up with 11 companies have 236 visa terminals on their vessels. And this is also relevant to the presentation of today. We are Telaccount Overseas. It's one of the oldest accounting authority companies in the world. We were established back in 1988, but we have evolved and became a proper and quality communication service provider over the years. This year is dedicated to crew welfare, and we're happy to announce that we have created the Telaccount Crew Welfare Platform, which consists out of Internet for Crew. Our solution, Telaccount Internet Cafe, has been nominated and has been shortlisted in the Investment in People Award this year by Citrus Award. We have the News for Seafarers, and that is, we provide the MIC News, but also the IPMC from KBH, and also roaming-free GSM cards for the seafarers, but also for the traveling staff and masters on board the vessels. That can make up a saving of your total communications up to 50 and 80%. The whole thing goes around the high demand of bandwidth and amounts of data that we will have on board the vessels, that is required to have on board the vessels for the main reason to bring the vessel closer to the office, or to bridge the big gap that we have ashore to the sea with the technology and with the bandwidth. What driven the growth the last years was, first of all, the in-mass price hiking on the F-77 SATVs, on the old technology terminals, on the narrow band technology terminals, and that has pushed the operators and the ship owners to change the technology and move to a broadband technology. Either this was fleet broadband or a VSAT solution. The increasing pressure on ship operators to have a better overview on the vessel's operations, either this is bunker and fuel consumption, or fleet tracking, or paperless vessel. The safety and other regulatory requirements, this is ECTIS, and later in 2020 we'll have the e-navigation. The new enterprise applications that are requiring higher bandwidth, this is VPN, intranet, SharePoint. The crew welfare, of course, that was the first thing that initiated more bandwidth and internet access on board the vessel, and the training as well. And the visa that is becoming a proper service provider for the maritime industry with the latest coverage and network map that we have, and the decreasing hardware prices. The last 5 years, we have seen changes ashore. We moved from download to streaming. We moved from hard drives to cloud, from seminars in the offices to e-learning, and from laptops to tablets. There are some statistics from 2013 and in the future, but 91% of all people on Earth have at least one mobile phone. That is equal to 6 billion subscriptions. 56% of people own a smartphone. 50% of mobile phone users use their mobile as their primary internet source. 80% of time on mobile is spent on applications. 72% of tablet owners purchase online from their tablets each week. And the internet connections that they were made through these mobile devices in 2013 were 17%, as it is expected to be 80% in 2025. Global mobile 4G connections in 2012 are 60 million, and is expected to go up to 992 million in 2017. And the number of applications downloaded in 2013 were 81.5 million, and is expected to become 310 million in 2016. Some more statistics for 2020. We expect to have 4 billion connected people in 2020, 4 trillion revenue opportunities, 25 million applications, 25 billion embedded and intelligent systems, and 50 trillion gigabytes of data. And this is something that away from home, 59% of travelers expected a away from home experience when they are traveling. 61% of travelers are expecting more from hotels as the internet prices have decreased. And I must say, last night I have downloaded the last episode of Homeland from my hotel room with a very decent connection, and that was something that we should expect to see, not only for us as business people, but also for our seafarers when they go on board the vessel.
You'll get a bill when you leave the hotel.
No, okay. So let's move on, as I said, to the seafarers, since we have mentioned the seafarers. 68% of ratings and 28% of officers have no access to email on board. 97% of ratings and 86% of officers on board have no access to the internet for social media, email, and web surfing. And while they are on leave at home, only 39% of ratings and a big amount of 82% of officers have daily access to the internet. The home away from home could be solved with a solution provided by KVH by giving them access to the internet with crew cabins, in the crew cabins or in the crew mess room, with their IMPC or with the internet access that they provide, but also for operational applications, for charts and ECTIS, for example. And let's move on to some acquisitions that have been made during the last years. Yes, as we have seen before, acquired Visada for its upstream division from 920 million. Upstream was renamed Airbus, and now again they're under for sale for 1 billion. This is what I have heard, and don't know if this is true or not, but Barbara has tried to answer this question before. Copcam acquired Train and Train for 445 million. Correct me if I'm wrong, Chris, because you were there before. Eutelsat acquired the German-based DH Intercom. Speedcast acquired Pachtel and Electricom satellite services. Panasonic Avionics acquired majority stake in Aeromobile for 400 million. Eutelsat acquired Asia Pacific satellite from G Capital for 228 million. Wasserstein buys Globecom for 340 million. And Broadband Satellite acquired A&D Group and Satcom Global. And last but not least, Inmarsat acquired Globe Wireless for 40 million. With this acquisition, Inmarsat now has the majority of the vessels, with Airbus being the next and followed by the other DPs. Challenges for the maritime industry. We need to improve crew welfare, add new services in order to have a higher retention rate. We need to improve operator satisfaction by providing greater connectivity. We need to drive up usage from bandwidth services for social media, more voice calls, Skype, etc. We need to establish and improve better IT infrastructure and improve voice and data quality on board. And how we should do that? There are the solutions that you already know, but also believe VSAT is also the future. The big players, Inmarsat, Iridium, and VSAT. Starting with Inmarsat, history, 1982, the first satellites for Inmarsat A, then in 1990s with the Inmarsat B, Inmarsat M, in 1996-1998 with the Fleet F-77, and then the one that we already know, the 2005-2008 began Fleet Broadband and Swift Broadband. This reflects in terminals with 150,000 SAT-C terminals currently on board the vessels. Less than or more than 40,000 Fleet Broadband terminals. Actually, the statistics I have right now for 2014 is about 42,000 Fleet Broadband terminals. With the introduction of the higher prices from Inmarsat, the rest of the terminals that you see there have been reduced dramatically. Fleet F-77, SAT-B, and Mini-M, although they are still shown on the Inmarsat as activated terminals, they are only used as backup or not at all on board the vessels. These are the 42,000 terminals we see here, but from 2010, with 5,000 terminals, it has increased to 42,000 terminals in 2014. The map of Inmarsat, as we all know, well covered across the globe, and the new toy of Inmarsat, Global Express, that is coming hopefully next year. It will be based on Ka band and provides more capacity than traditional C and Ku band frequencies. It has one network infrastructure and one provider with seamless spot beam handovers, 6 satellite access stations. The first I-5 satellite was launched on the 8th of December 2013, and we were expecting to have the other 2 this year, but it has not been materialized. We hope that we have heard that the next one will be launched towards end of this year, beginning of next year, and the construction of the 4th satellite is underway as a backup solution. This will be the coverage map that we will have through Global Express, and these will be the Global Express 89 spot beams that will cover the Ka band with 50 megabits typical user throughput, 89 fixed user beams, and up to 72 beams that are active simultaneously. Inmarsat, one operator, one network, one seamless global service. GMTSS is still offered by Inmarsat through F-77 and SAT-C, but we still pay per megabyte, except we will have express link on the vessels. We had the price hiking every year during the last 3 years, which made us furious as ship owners. And the Inmarsat monopoly, again, is something that is creating issues among the industry. with the new acquisition especially, whether they will use iFusion instead of Infinity or Exchange Box or whatever else we have on board the vessels, and whether Globe Email will be used instead of Amos Connect for a fee. Will iFusion be the next the GX service enablement platform gateway? And is Inmarsat becoming a one-stop shop? Are the value-added partners here are required or not? Is this what the industry wants? What will happen with all these boxes that are now around in the world, and that all these partners have made so much investment in money about the research and development and the marketing of all these gateways, like Exchange, like Zetel, like ShipSat, Station 711, OCHSat, Dualog, whatever. And what will be the prices for GX? Rumors say that when you have now ExpressLink with 128, this will be, you will pay for the same price and you will get the double of the speed. The next player is Iridium. Iridium, that covers globally, even around the North and South poles, with their 66 satellites, and with their devices like Iridium OpenPort, Pilot, and Extreme. Iridium is bringing up, hopefully next year or the year after, the Iridium Next. The operational infrastructure is complete, and which will be operating the Iridium Next satellites from launch through the entire Iridium Next mission. As I said, 66 new satellites are going to be launched in 2015 by Boeing. They will provide 1.5 megabit connection on L-band and up to 8 megabit connection on Ka band. Expected year of operation 2016, and Iridium has applied for GMDSS certification through the IMO, which they expect hopefully to get in 2015. Question? Yes?
I think they'll be lucky.
Yes,
to get it in
okay.
2015.
Okay. Is Iridium going to be a real competitor for our industry in 2 years' time? This is, again, the question that you have to have in mind. Having the trading areas of the vessels with the red lines here, starting from Tokyo, going China, Singapore, Dubai, then Suez Canal, passing through Cyprus, then to Gibraltar, North Europe, or to the United States, through Panama Canal, back again, East Coast, and then back to Asia. This is the typical trading routes that we have, but we see that there are a lot of other vessels that are going around, and that there is need for coverage. And the need for coverage, we have the VSAT players, quite a few, and these play a big role in your decisions on whether you go for VSAT or not. We have VSAT C-band with similar coverage as we know from Inmarsat, used on board the passenger vessels. They require a huge 2.4 meter antennas, unless you go with KVH with the smaller antenna of V11. And they have the prices of the antennas, of course, are very much more expensive than we know on KU or on L band. We have the VSAT KU band coverage. This map, I have received it from Speedcast. I'm very happy to see the extension of the KU band, especially in the Indian Ocean region and Atlantic as well. That's something that was not the case with other providers. I have seen also a very similar from Airbus Defence and Space. I mean, this is not the only one that exists. So you have to check if you want to go for KU band, for which provider to go. And then we have the combo of VSAT C band and KU band from KVH, as I've already mentioned, with the V11 antenna. And we move on now to the Ka band. The Ka band, there are already available Ka band solutions in the market. This one is coming from Eutelsat and is covering Europe and Mediterranean. This one is from Avanti with the Hylas satellites, and is covering Europe and Middle East. And we have the YASAT, that's covering Middle East and Africa. And of course, Global Express, that is coming hopefully in a year or two, that will have almost global coverage. A quick comparison between those that I have mentioned: Viasat 2013, Europe Mediterranean with 10 megabits maximum upstream; Avanti, Afghanistan, South Africa, UK and Syria with 5 megabits; YASAT, Middle East and Africa with 3 megabits; and Global Express, it's global and it has 4 to 10 megabits depending on the dish size. Key markets for Ka band: military and government, media broadcasting and TV channels, telecoms, oil and gas. They are very strong in US, Canada, Russia, Australia, and Latin America. The mining, banking for ATMs, especially in Asia, India, and Latin America. Large-scale enterprise solutions for network and server infrastructure. Mobility, aeronautical, disaster recovery, and maritime. Yes, maritime is also there. So Inmarsat is going for Global Express for Ka band, and we are somewhere there. I hope they will still love us when they have all these options to go for. VSAT, applicable for different market segments: for home, alternative to terrestrial in underserved or in unserved regions; business, ideal for data-heavy applications, oil and gas, ATMs; government services for elections, civil projects, disaster relief, security and surveillance, especially in border control; non-governmental organizations for education organizations, e-learning, telemedicine, or agricultural support; and maritime, alternative to L-band, unlimited data and higher bandwidth. VSAT maritime terminals in service. We have approximately this year 14,000 maritime VSAT terminals that consist out of these segments of leisure, commercial, military, offshore, and oil rigs. High throughput satellite terminals. This is something that will be heavily discussed during the afternoon session, so I will not go through all these points, but this HTS is a classification for communication satellites that provide at least twice, usually by a factor of 20 or more, the total throughput of a classic fixed satellite. Such satellites do provide more than 100 gigabits of capacity, which is more than 100 times the capacity offered by conventional Ku band satellites. They have a list of available HTS satellites. Mentioned there are a few ones that I have already shown on the screens before. Viasat in October 2011, YASAT to April 2012, HILAS July 2012, Astra 2013, O3B satellite in June 2013, Inmarsat Global Express expected 2015, and Intelsat Epic 2015. Yeah.
Through to 19.
Through to 19, good. Current and future considerations. Airbus and Defence and Space and Marlin are again for sale. What does this mean for us in the maritime industry? Is it going to be a new name only? That's what we hope. The maritime VSAT world is changing radically soon. Are your Ku band antennas Ka band compatible? Can Iridium Next be the solution you are looking for? And you need to choose the appropriate system for your vessels and for your needs. This always depends on your needs on board your vessels and at your offices. How you want to deal with all these requirements that we have on increasing bandwidth on the vessels. You need to take into consideration the new regulations that are coming into the market. For example, e-navigation in 2020. And will your ship-to-shore applications require higher bandwidth? Will you put SharePoint on board your vessels, for example? Are you ready to go for higher bandwidth and for HTS? Is crew welfare a good reason to move to higher bandwidth and unlimited data? Ship operators need to educate themselves which technology they should use before they commit themselves for 2 and 3 years contracts. And closing, we need to bring the vessels and the industry closer to shore with them, with the technology that we have. Last month, Apple announced that the start of a new future ashore is with the iWatch. Let's do something and bring the industry, the vessels, closer to us. So that's it. Thank you very much for listening.
A couple of quick questions.
Yeah.
Can you give us just a bit more information? This is questions from the floor. Can you give us just a bit more information about your vessels in terms of the breakdown, VSAT and MSS, and questions about the ARPU and the specific comms breakdown of the vessels?
As I mentioned before, we have only 40 vessels equipped with visa terminals. We are a ship management company, and we have to manage what the owner has to put on board. But let's talk about the shuttle vessels that we have a say in what they should put on board their vessels. When we took over the shuttle vessels, they were mostly having fleet broadband terminals. And the majority of the 82 vessels, they have indeed fleet broadband terminals as the main terminal for their communications. But yes, we are making thoughts on how to move on for the future, and this is the time that we all have to sit together and think what to do next for our vessels.
Do you think that the focus we've got on this session today here, I mean, with Greece being the world centre in terms of the deep sea, heavier, the bulk industry, do you think the focus that we have here on VSAT is not appropriate?
It is the right time, I believe.
It is the right time.
It is the right time. I was with some ship owners the last few days, and I have seen how much it has improved the IT technology in Greece, especially in some companies, when they are already talking about having SharePoint on board their vessels and exchanging information as they have their vessels already a business unit as an additional office with 22 people working there. I was really impressed from this company, and I wasn't expecting something to see in Greece this time.
And to be completely fair to you, when you've been asked this question years ago, you've said no, it's not yet the right time for everyone. It's a question.
But I am always making it as a constructive criticism to Inmarsat to do something, and to the rest of the providers, including you now, that they were not doing enough for our industry, and we still have a gap. I mean, the gap is still there. The prices are still high. You need to do something about the pricing. You need to bring them down. So we have to move on, and we have to bridge this gap that we have from, it's about 5 years. We need to bring it closer to 1 or 2 years difference from what we have ashore.
Okay, we've got to move on. So I'll say thank you there. There was another question actually, which was, have you sent Frank a Christmas card yet? You can answer that in your own time. So thank you very much, Adonis.
Thank you very much.
So, yes, while we're handing over, I shall introduce, we have now Manuel. Manuel from Telenor will be talking about growth and competitiveness.